And once again, I'd like to welcome you guys back to my YouTube channel. And I'm your host, John Chaff. In this next video, we're going to be joining law enforcement officers at the Floyd Mayweather John Gotti. I do believe it was the third fight in 2023. A reality star by the name of Joseline Hernandez got into an altercation with another reality star by the name of Big Lex. And for some reason or another, these two stars got into a big scuffle, and it led to the arrest of Miss Joseline Hernandez. So let's go ahead and get into this video, and afterwards I will come back and give you my commentary. And I'd like to welcome you guys back to my channel, and I'm the host, John Chaff. This is the arrest of Joseline Hernandez on the Floyd Mayweather fight. Joseline Hernandez is a reality star, and for some reason or another, she got into it with a person called Big Lex.
I don't care. Don't you touch me. I don't want no white man. No one's trying to touch you. Shut up. Shut up! What? Hey, get back!
She seemed to have a problem with white officers touching her, and she took an object and just threw it at one of them, and now she's going to be arrested.
Nobody wants to hurt you. Nobody wants to hurt you.
Now, I'm not too familiar with this reality star. Again, her name is Joseline Hernandez. I guess I'm pronouncing that right. And she's really, boy, giving these officers a really hard time.
Alright. Okay. Hey! Let go of me right now. Hey! Are you gonna stop? You let go of me. You're gonna stop that. I gave you the order. No! Hey! Let go. Is that your treatment, bitch? Hey! Let go of me. I will make it so difficult for you. In the words of motherfucking George Floyd, I'm going to touch me.
Joseline Hernandez.
The girls that are on her show, her entire crew, they try to rob me. They try to take my chain off, try to take my watch off. I was on her show a couple years ago, and ever since I got on her show, she just hated me. So that's when she sees me at, for the first time in a couple years, she just decided to. The most definitely, sure. I'm the girl that they drink. Oh wow, they were laughing.
You said it, don't you?
Yeah. She had all of jumpers, beat me down, struck me in my head. And then after the big security had got me and put me on that little thing, then Johnson came out of nowhere and did this. What was that bitch laughing? She laughing at me. It didn't puncture my skin.
She's technically already in custody. We have her at our police department, who's doing paperwork for whatever. The other stuff she did at the arena. We're calling the officer right now that's in charge of all that, and we're going to see if we can add the charge. You'll be a victim in that case. You'll be added to that. I'll give you a case card.
Okay.
So the victim, you'll be one of the victims. So it's still a case for you, right? It'll just be mixed in with everything else. But I'll give you a case card, case number, and everything like that. So you go to your lawyer and be like, look, this is the incident.
We'll take you.
That's the way we can get you. That's the only way to get the water. Hey.
I'm right here, but you don't have to do that. I'm sick of y'all touching me.
And this is the intake of the city, the county jail. And Mrs. Hernandez is being booked on several charges.
Because she was asked to leave. She was asked to leave the dressing room she was in. She went and barricaded herself in the bathroom apparently. And then when we got there and told her and her entourage, which was all pieces of shit too, because there was a big melee at the FLA library. Now she came out and started mouthing off to everyone. I don't know what the problem is. We then take her to jail, start pushing her off, and it was on. So you know what?
She started off lucky. She didn't have 6 felonies stacked on her.
This is for the trespass after warning. It says trespass, structure, or conveyance, just like this one does, but it's different. First degree misdemeanor, third degree felony. So obviously it's increased the number of times they did it. I'm not gonna fuck her. I'm just gonna give her the first one, which is what it was supposed to be.
And again, we'd like to welcome you back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to another episode. And as you just witnessed, an altercation between reality star Joseline Hernandez. She got into an altercation with another reality star by the name of Big Lex. These two individuals was at the 2023 Floyd Mayweather fight. It was Floyd Mayweather against John Gotti. I do believe it was the third fight. And for some reason or another, these two individuals, these two females, got into a big scuffle. And so that's what you just witnessed in this video. The officers trying to bring cool matters, trying to calm down this situation. And it actually got out of hand. Miss Hernandez decided that she wants to now take her anger out on these officers as they try to calm the situation. For they was not really looking to arrest anybody, but just try to bring law and order. But Hernandez began to get outright outrageous, not wanting to cooperate at all with these officers. And especially she seemed to have, never seems to fail, but she seemed to have a problem with the white officers putting their hands on her. And as they escorted her to the back room, she took an object of some kind and threw it at somebody. And so that's when the officers decided to take her into custody. And she went back and forth with all kinds of racial surge, kicking and screaming like nobody's child. And so the officers eventually had to pick her up, screaming and kicking and legs flying everywhere. They eventually had to kick her up and take her to the back, to where they placed her under arrest and transported her to the local jail. And once she was there, she was fingerprinted, identified, and booked. She probably didn't have to stay there too long, maybe a couple of hours, if that, because she probably had to see a judge before she was able to bail out. Then again, I'm not sure, but she was charged with some serious crime, and this is all due to her acting in this manner. A lot of times you see different celebrities like this young lady that feel like they are entitled, laws doesn't apply to them. And this is how some of them act. They're saying, I'm too big of a star, too big of a person for you to put your hands on me. But the officers didn't see it like that. And so she was arrested and booked as she should have been. I guess that was her manager or somebody, a bodyguard or somebody that was actually trying to step in between her and law enforcement to keep her from being arrested. But due to her personality and the way she acted and carried herself, she was arrested anyway. And I have seen this a couple times myself. A lot of times when you arrest a female, sometimes can get really outrageous. And they can actually harm you quicker than a male can if you let your guard down. So you have to really be careful when you're dealing with a female suspect. If you are an officer and you let your guard down simply because she is a female, you can really get yourself into some trouble. When I was a law enforcement officer, I remember transporting a young lady from a club. And the officer that actually made the arrest was working moonlighting at the club. And so he called for a patrol unit to come pick up this female inmate and to transport her downtown, which is probably about give and take, about 25-minute ride. And that's really moving 80, 90 miles an hour. And we went and picked up me and my partner picked up the inmate. And back then, you wasn't able to really properly search a female inmate simply because she's a female. And they can accuse you of all kinds of things, from sexual harassment, improper touching, or what have you. And so if we have a female officer on duty, then the arresting officer, if he's a male, we usually call for a female officer. And if none is available, then we just have to do what we have to do. And so halfway down the highway, he's transporting this white female, seemed to be about 50 years old, very attractive, well-built woman. And she kept wanting to talk to my partner, and she was felt more comfortable with him, being that he's a white male officer. I guess that's why she talked to him. For some reason or another, she opened the divider because she said she couldn't breathe. She couldn't get any air from back there. And so we opened the divider for her to get more air. This woman came out she came out the handcuffs, put her arms in front of her, grabbed my partner by the neck. Because initially the call is that she had a knife. And by we being restricted from searching females, we wasn't able to find the knife. Most times we just had to look at the female and have her to pull her clothing or something like that to herself. And we would have to see if anything that was budging out that looked like a weapon. And so as we get halfway downtown, she's talking to my partner, then all of a sudden she grabbed him with the handcuff on this hand, dangling off this hand, grabbed him around his neck. And we had a recorder video. It wasn't a video cam, it was like a recorder, and a voice recorder what it was. And that was the first time we used it. And good thing we was testing it out that particular day, because she grabbed him around his neck with that handcuff dangling. He went to screaming because we thought she had a knife and was trying to put the knife around his neck. I slammed on brakes, jumped out of the car, grabbed her, tossed her around and wrestled with her a little bit. Then I was finally able to get the handcuffs back on her, and we had to call it in to the dispatcher that we had a problem with the female inmate, that she had got out of her handcuffs, and we finally was able to subdue her and get her transported to the jail. And I guess it was about 11 11, 12 o'clock that particular evening. By the time I got off duty, I had to go back downtown. After I dropped her off at the jail, we went back downtown. No, we went back on patrol. And we got off, I guess, by 7 or 8 o'clock that morning. 7 or 8 o'clock that morning, that woman was walking out the jail. She had been released and was walking out the jail the same time I was ending my tour of duty. And so that goes to show you, sometimes even though you're arrested and you go to jail, the jail system is different from the patrol. We don't have no rights at all when it comes to how the jail is run. It's a whole different system from the patrol division. And so we don't have no rights at all. The only thing we can do is bring you to jail and set a bail. And in her case, we set a bail at about $500. In most cases, you pay 10% of the bail. You get your bail bonds, and 10% of $500 wouldn't be but $50. And so that morning when I got off duty, this particular female was walking out and going home. And me and I looked at her, and she didn't say anything, but I don't even know if she even remember that it was me that transported her down there. Because she was so drunk. And the original charge is she wanted to use the restroom, and she actually pulled down her pants and tried to take a leak in the front yard of the club. High bowl. And so the officer there arrested her. And also dealing with the female inmates, female suspects, whether they are celebrities or not, can be a challenge. That's going to bring an end to this video. Again, we thank you for watching and tuning in, and we ask you to continually to support the channel simply by liking, sharing, and subscribing. And don't forget to hit that notification button. That way when we are doing a upload, and you won't miss out on some of this awesome content. Again, we thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the